Man, it's getting fucking smoky here in Canada.
Is that your way of saying that it's getting hot, or you have
Well,
fires?
oh, tons of fires. Alberta's up in
Mm.
flames like for the past, oh god, since like the beginning of May. And
The Hart family's too hot, baby.
oh fuck. And then now like even in my neck of the woods, there's a bunch of forest fires coming in so much that now we're getting all the smoke
Oh yeah.
coming in. And like I've already seen photos of like Edmonton and Calgary. There's so much smoke that it looks like that orange apocalyptic
Oh
kind of
yeah,
color.
yeah.
So now we're starting to get it over here too, and it's just like fucking hell. Try and go into school this morning, and I'm just like, oh, fresh air. I'm just like, yeah, no, fuck. I'm holding my breath here. Where are the filters again? Shit.
Right? Yeah, seriously.
Fucking god.
I
How's
mean,
it?
we've got a lot of woodland and stuff down here, but I live in the city, so
Ah,
I don't necessarily run into too much of that. Most of that would happen more like the eastern region
right.
um, of my state, but it's hot, baby. It's
Ooh,
hot. Like we skipped spring and hopped right into summer.
same.
Um, and but we were getting like today is the first day that we haven't had a storm in weeks. Uh,
Really?
we've had thunderstorms every single fucking day for weeks.
Fuck.
Which I mean, I love a good bit of rain, me,
Yeah.
and I love a thunderstorm. I mean, I'm a Southern boy. I like to sit out on my porch and watch
Yeah.
the storm roll in. Like that's great. But damn, like yeah, there's a point where I was at work and someone's like, I thought it was April showers bring me flowers, and I'm like, nope. This year it's like, May storms and a day that ends in Y. Like we're just every day nonstop.
Oh, it's been
Uh,
nothing but like it's been nothing like a dry summer here. Like usually where I live in Canada, and like I live over in like western, the prairies, and usually we don't start experiencing heat waves till about maybe end of June, beginning of
okay,
July.
yeah,
And for some fucking reason, out of the gate, we go from like +8, +9. I'm like, all right, this is nice. Next week, +32, 34. I'm like, where the fuck did this come from? And like,
Jesus,
I had to turn on our AC last week because it was just that unbearable. And yeah, it just never heard of. This is just so fucked. And I'm just like, okay, so when the storm's coming, there's no storms coming for a while yet. So I'm like, damn, this is gonna be a dry goddamn summer again.
no, I will say, with it warming up, I have been grilling and it's been lovely.
Ooh, I have
Um,
yet to grill.
It has been fantastic. Once we wrap up recording tonight,
Mm-hmm.
I will be heading out the back door and firing up my charcoal grill
Mm.
because charcoal is the way to go. I'm sorry, Hank Hill, but even your own family decided that charcoal tasted better than propane. So
It is true.
because it's like taste the meat, not the heat, and it's like no, but the heat is what makes the meat taste good.
Mm-hmm.
That
Agreed.
smoke, that char, that's what you're looking for. Yeah. So I've been all about that. That's been great.
Oh,
No replicators, so I got to do it myself.
oh fuck. Well, they'll be coming in short time, hopefully.
I mean, there's actually a bot I follow that talks about how many days we are from first contact. Um,
What?
well, first contact day, which is a Star Trek holiday,
Oh, okay.
which is Friday, April 5th. Is first contact day, but when is it actually? What year? 2063. So we're getting there.
That's first
We're getting
contact
there.
day, 2063.
Yep, that's the day that Zephram Cochrane breaks the warp barrier, and Vulcans who happen to be passing through the system see it, land, and we make first contact with an alien race.
I think we're gonna be in the senior home by then, buddy.
Yeah,
W-
2063. Well, I mean, that's 40 years. Yeah, yeah.
We'll at least have a good view from the window.
Right, yeah. In Bozeman, Montana, of all places.
Oh wow. I'm looking forward to barbecuing though.
Yeah.
We're supposed to have some of my in-laws. There's some Brazilian in-laws we have that live in, I think, BC.
Hmm.
And they're like, "Oh yeah, we're coming on over the weekend." I'm like, "All right, sweet." And they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna do some Brazilian barbecue at your place." I'm like, "Oh fuck, I'm
Fuck
not
yeah.
saying no to this. Bring it on."
That sounds delicious.
Oh, so fucking delicious. A lot of salt, but I'll take it.
Hmm.
I don't
Yeah.
care. My doctor can get pissed. I don't
Just
care.
drink lots of water.
Welcome everyone to the Bpgn podcast. I am the Big Red Gamer. Alongside with me,
Captain Who.
it's good to be back in the saddle once again with all you lovely folks. Sadly, as we did mention, Gnome cannot make it. He's taking a bit of a brief hiatus for his mental health,
Yeah.
which he always
Yep.
had the seat here with us. So
Absolutely.
it might stink a bit, but just Febreze it every now and then.
Right.
Oh, I will say this, man. Summer's here, and it got me to thinking of summer comedies that
Hmm.
are either now or what we grew up with. And my topic here, since it's just the two of us, um, what is our top three summer comedy films? They don't have to go in any particular order. It's just whichever three.
Yeah.
I'll let you take the bat at the first one.
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna say number one. The first one I'm gonna mention
Yeah,
is Wet Hot American Summer.
I knew it.
Like that is, I mean, easily my pick. That film is a barometer for when I meet someone and I'm kind of becoming friends with them.
Right.
That kind of determines if we're gonna actually be able to be friends.
True.
Is Wet Hot American Summer. Like, if you do not dig this movie, if you don't think it's one of the funniest fucking things in the world, we're probably not going to get along. It's so good. It's so iconic. And I mean, it was filmed at a real, like, Jewish summer camp for boys. Like, it's
I
ridiculous.
didn't fucking know that.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
god.
Yeah. Preposterous in every sense of the word. Um, with a, I mean, a veritable who's who of comedy mega houses.
Oh, no kidding. Paul Rudd? Like,
Yeah,
goddamn.
I mean, Paul Rudd and his character in that movie inspired one of my favorite wrestlers, Orange Cassidy.
Right.
Orange Cassidy's entire gimmick is essentially Paul Rudd's character from Wet Hot American Summer, to the point that he even uses Jane as his theme song.
Oh, fuck. I'm trying to remember who even does Gene.
It's Jefferson Starship, I believe.
Oh, okay. All right, fair enough.
But like, yeah, that's his theme song in AEW now. And like when he debuted it, they didn't announce it because he'd been coming out to Pixies' "Where Is My Mind," which is also a great track for
Good
them.
song, good song.
But then it was time for him to come out for his match, and like the fucking piano from the beginning of Jane starts, and it's like, oh my god, they got the music. And then OC comes out, and he's international champion. He carries the belt in a JanSport bag because he doesn't give a shit. Like, it's amazing. But yeah, Wet Hot American Summer. Janine Garofalo as the head of the camp, and then I mean, yeah, Michael Ian Black. Uh, we mentioned Paul
Wasn't
Rudd.
I'm trying I might be thinking of the prequel, but wasn't like Bradley Cooper in it? No.
Bradley Cooper did the. I think he did the sequel. No, he did the prequel.
Okay.
He did the prequel because Adam Scott replaced his character in the sequel.
Okay. All
But
right.
no, Bradley Cooper was in the original as well.
Okay, yeah, because
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
I just like all of a sudden
Because he was
pictured.
in the relationship with Michael Ian Black.
Okay, yeah, because like all of a sudden I just randomly pictured like Bradley Cooper as like an '80s like prep.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, you're right. John H. Benjamin as a can of vegetables.
Yes, the voice of Archer.
Yeah,
Oh man.
yeah,
Uh,
brilliant, brilliant film.
who's the? I know the face, but I can never think of the name. Who's the chef with a bandana on his head?
Oh, that's fucking God damn it. He was like Law and Order.
I
He was on SVU.
he was on Scrubs with Mr. Cookie Pants.
Christopher Maloney.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, and he's so fucking good in that movie.
He is. Oh, just like a
You
total.
know where we keep the bug juice? It's on the shelf next to my dick cream. And he humps the refrigerator.
Yes, like that movie, because like yeah, the original Wet Hot American Summer, that would have been mid
Like
late
2000,
2000s.
like 2001.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Because yeah, it had kind of like
All these people before they were stars.
yeah, and it
Like
was
Amy Poehler.
yeah, okay, that's another name I was trying to think of. I just couldn't. I all I did was think of the lady from Parks and Rec, but I just couldn't think of
Yeah.
her name.
Amy Poehler before she got her teeth done, which she had done before Park started. So yeah, it's early.
Holy shit! Yeah, because
And she's
like,
got veneers or something like that.
hmm, yeah, because like around that time, like that would have been like American Pie, that kind of era of comedy.
Yeah, the first American Pie was, I want to say 96 or 97
That sounds about right.
because it was early internet.
Yeah.
Blink 182 was still relevant. And they had a capuchin monkey for some reason
Wait, Blink had one? Or are you talking like?
in the movie. Because
Oh,
the Blink 182's in American Pie because they're watching the video live stream, which also, like, that would not fly
oh,
today.
absolutely not. Not a
No.
chance. Cease and desist
No.
right there. Damn.
Yeah. Not happening.
Fuck. Okay, so movie I could throw at you if we're wanting to stay in the 2000s here. I'm gonna go with Adventureland.
Oh, that's a great one.
It's a good one. I didn't really think of much of Bill Hader as an
Hmm.
actor because like he was just kind of there for me. But to see him run this like this really sketchy looking theme park, like the scene that still cracks me up is not I can't remember the main actor's name, not Michael Cera. But
Kristen
anyway,
Stewart, right? Wasn't she?
yeah, Kristen Stewart was in it, but there was he played like Lex Luthor with
Oh, Jesse Eisenberg.
thank you. He's getting chased by one of the customers like cuz they found out like the party game is rigged
Right.
and he's like running for his life to like breaking the law, which fucking great tune. And the minute he finds Bill Hader in the office, he's like, "There's someone trying to fucking kill me." He's like, "All right, no problem." Wife like throws up the bat to him. He goes out, kicks the door open. You want some? You fucking want some? Runs away. He's just like, "Okay, that's all settled." So like, holy shit. Okay, I like Bill Hader now. But yeah, they had
Oh,
like Ryan Reynolds
he's a
was in it
phenomenal
too.
actor. Yep, yeah. Yeah, that was that era that Ryan Reynolds was just in everything.
Yes. The music as well for it. I
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
yeah, I mentioned Judas Priest, but um I'm trying to remember the fuck. I can't believe I already forgot the name. Uh, they have a song in there, "Perfect Day," but I cannot remember. Hang on, let me just look on my Spotify quick. Oh, Lou Reed. That's what I'm thinking of. That I think that movie is the one that got me into Lou Reed because there was in that song or the movie I believe they had both "Satellite of Love" and "Perfect Day." And I think Satellite of
Yeah.
Love was like my favorite song by him ever since then. But yeah, it's that such a good movie. Like all like with Jesse's character, he wanted to go to I believe what was it, art school or something like that.
Sounds right. It has been a hot minute since I've watched that movie.
Yeah. And yeah, he can't afford it and so instead he decides to go work at like this like, summer carnival to get the money. And then just as he's like trying to like as it's wrapping up, he gets shit faced drunk because I think him and Kristen Stewart's character didn't work out, crashes his mom's vehicle, and then all the money goes to the repairs of the vehicle and he just couldn't go to school anymore. So yeah, great fucking flick. End of story. Highly
Yeah.
recommend it to this day. What you got for your next one there, champ?
So it's one I grew up with.
Mm.
Um, The Sandlot.
Ooh, Sandlot's good.
Uh, that movie, I still to this day will say, "You're killing me, Smalls."
Oh yes.
But yeah, that movie it's something it was just everywhere in pop culture in the 90s.
I think it
Um,
still has a good hit in pop culture today. Not maybe as big, but yeah.
but yeah, I mean, just a classic, tried and true, pre-internet,
Mm,
you know, group of friends hanging out in the summer, and there's nothing to do, so they're playing baseball. Uh, they lose the ball over the fence, and vicious dog, and it's just a classic Americana.
yeah.
Um, Definitely. I mean, it's that same kind of bicycle kids trend that you see in stuff like Stand By Me
Yes.
or, It, or, start going into the darker paths there.
Mm,
It's that same little slice. But it's just a mostly wholesome uh, little film there. I mean, you have the one kid pretending to drown so he can kiss the CPR instructor, which again,
yes.
not going to fly today.
No, not a chance.
But
Who
it's
was
it's a good flick.
wasn't James Earl Jones in that
Yes, he
one?
was the guy who owned the dog that lived next door.
Okay, I
And
thought so.
if I remember right, it turns out he's some famous baseball player who retired and whatever. Like, if I remember right, it's been 20
Yeah.
years.
Oh,
You know,
it's been a bit for me too. Like I think I saw maybe like one or two times. Good flick nonetheless, though.
yeah,
Um, like I think even like growing up in Canada, that's what I kind of figured like what a lot of American kids grew up like around that era. I don't know, from my point of view at least. Yeah, no, good pick on that. I think another one I could probably throw up here is The Great Outdoors
yep,
with both
great one.
Dan Aykroyd and
Yep,
John Candy.
yep.
Uh,
The late great John Candy.
oh fuck, fucking legend. Um, yeah, it's just two families. One's rich, one's just average, and it's essentially just a pissing match of like who's like who's the better
Mhm.
family. But I think my favorite scene still to this day is when what was it, when a bear breaks into their cabin, and so they don't know what to do, so they grab this like lampshade that's like in the shape of a shotgun, and they don't think it works at all, and they manage to like shoot it square on the ass, and all you see is like this scatter of like bear fur gone. It's a bear going bare ass out the door. Yeah, what would be your third?
So I had to think on that for a minute because I
Hmm.
was like, okay, and I kind of wanted to loop it back to my first pick,
Oh,
which was summer camp.
yeah.
So I'm gonna pick Ernest Goes to Camp.
Mm. I don't know if I saw that one. I did watch a few Ernest films before.
Ernest Jim Varney, who played Ernest, was from just south of where I am.
That I
Um,
believe.
he actually, that character started off selling for a local milk company. Um, that was the concept of the Ernest character. He was for TV ads, um,
Jeez.
and then obviously grew into Ernest.
Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, to this day, I still be like, you know what I mean, Vern? But yeah, Ernest Goes to Camp, that was all the way back in 1987.
Shit.
Which, I mean, you just got man child Ernest at a summer camp, and hijinks ensue.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, which is, I mean, anything and everything that you want.
Yeah.
Silly, stupid, him playing a lot of characters. Classic Jim Varney rubber face before, Jim Carrey became the rubber face guy.
Oh shit. Yeah, like it's definitely a product of his time.
Yes.
Good charm though, nonetheless. I think it's still, well, I don't know if I would say holds up today,
Yeah.
but
I mean,
it's a good film.
I think you probably had to grow up with it
Yeah, I agree.
for it to still have the charm um, that I remember it having.
I think if you were to show it to Gen Zers, now they'd be like, "What the fuck is
Yeah.
this?"
Though my favorite Ernest film is Ernest Scared Stupid.
That's a good one.
That's my top Ernest film. Or Ernest Saves Christmas. That one's really good too.
Just him barging in with the fucking Christmas tree. It's like, "Hey, Vern, I got you a tree," and just like zooming in and out, and like, fuck, it's like, get out.
Classic.
So damn good. Okay, so if you're gonna go classic with that one, my final one is National Lampoon's Vegas Vacation.
Ooh, okay, Vegas Vacation.
Now, yes, the I believe there was European and then summer, but
Hmm.
Vegas,
Well,
like
yeah. Well, yeah, there was
Vegas,
the
yeah,
vacation and then European vacation, then Vegas vacation, I think is how those went. But
mm,
it's been a while.
uh, yeah, and yeah, it just I don't know. Out of all those, aside from Christmas Vacation, that one stays ingrained in my head.
I mean, yeah.
Even like towards the end where like they're all walking out and Russ is like, "Well, actually, I got four cards. They're all mine." He's like,
Yeah.
Russ, how'd you get all these? Well, I put a coin in. I got a car. I got a car. I got a car. Okay, Kate, leave it at that. And they all just go driving off into the sunset and just like bobbing and weaving. It's like, okay, show offs. But
I remember it's been a long time since I've seen that one.
mm,
But I remember them, Randy Quaid taking them to a casino with like not normal games where it's like you have to, it's actually like uh
rock,
stupid like rock, paper, scissors and shit like that.
I believe
Um,
that.
it's like I said, it's been ages since I've watched that,
Yeah.
but that sounds familiar because I mean, I remember even as a kid being like, there would be no casino like that.
No. Um, but
Though Bob's Burgers did a whole episode where they ran an underground casino that was all about rock, paper, scissors, and shit. So I don't know.
it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if that's a thing in 2023. Um, I think there's like one other scene as well when they're first entering, like they're all in a limo, like seeing like the Vegas Strip, and I think Audrey is the one that's like
Mhm.
up in the sunroof, and
Yeah,
I think it's Clark that like leans on a button while like taking photos, and the the window starts closing in on her stomach, like while she's like peeking around
yeah.
looking, she's like, open up. And like she gets down, all you see is like this red fucking line across her belly. It's just, oh fuck. Yeah, it's such a good movie. I'm gonna probably have to watch that over the weekend here. Been for so long. Um,
It's funny. It's gonna be a tiny little seg, but I
yeah.
just watched Violent Night.
Oh, is that's good, ain't it?
I really enjoyed it, and I loved that Beverly D'Angelo, who was the mom in all the vacation movies,
Yes.
was the matriarch of the family in this one. Thought that was a nice little connective piece of tissue there.
Oh, definitely. I love. I've been waiting for you to watch that so we can sag into that someday because like the kills are brutal and I
The
love
kills are
it.
great.
Um, like
David Harbour was inspired casting,
oh,
like
perfect casting. My God.
so good.
The fucking snowblower kill was my favorite. I love that. It just my wife and I both watching that movie in theaters when it came out. Like she doesn't watch a whole lot of violent films like me. So when she saw like him like sharpening the ice blade or like even
Yeah,
just like sharpening the fucking candy cane to like jab into the mouth,
yeah.
all I hear from her is like, "Holy shit, dude!" Like, yeah, deck the halls, man.
I had so much fun
Mm-hmm.
watching that movie. My wife spent the majority of it rolling her eyes.
Oh
Um,
fuck.
she cannot, and it's funny because she loves Bob's Burgers. It's one of her favorite show, and there's so many puns in that show. But
Mm.
like Christmas puns, she just always has a trouble with. And there's so many good ones in that.
Oh man, there's like, what'd you think of the Home Alone moment? Like
Oh
the
God,
real Home Alone
and
experience.
that's exactly where I was with it. I was like, oh, so this is actually what would have happened to the Wet Bandits if it hadn't been a slapstick cartoon uh, of a style that Christopher Columbus was doing there. Because yeah, she murdered those people.
When I when I saw that moment in theaters, I was wanting to like spam message you, go to the fucking theater now and see this.
Yeah,
Home Alone, that is all. It's just I
so good.
him getting like the nail like through the
Yes.
bottom there is
Well,
oh
and then the ball coming down and driving the nail in, fucking
oh
brilliant. I think the Christmas star kill towards the beginning is one of my favorites in the whole movie.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Because he's like still coming with the star sticking out of his eye, and then Santa plugs it in the tree and he catches his head on fire. Fucking amazing. And
The
then he's on the radio afterwards. It's like, oh yeah, is that he got a Christmas star in his eye and his head caught on fire? Is a whole thing. Like,
I think the moment that where it made me go like, "Oh shit," was it was just after the Home Alone bit, and I the one girl assassin is trying to kill
yeah,
the little girl in the attic,
yes,
and he comes in, he's like, "You tried to kill her," and he looked, he's like, "Sweetie, cover your ears." Close your
yeah,
eyes, turn around, and hum your favorite Christmas tune really loud, okay? And all you see is him slowly walking by with a sledgehammer in his hand. I'm like,
yeah.
oh fuck yes, fuck her up. But it's just yeah,
Oh, and I
that's
love when he towards the end when he actually gets his proper hammer when the
yes.
reindeer come back, and the little girl's just like Skull Crusher,
Yes.
and he's just like, it sure is
Oh,
brilliant.
it was
And
fucking
John
beauty.
Leguizamo was so good.
Oh, he was so damn good.
Yeah, I was very, very happy with that. I love a Chris. I mean, it was literally Die Hard with Santa Claus.
Yep.
Um, Played a bit more silly,
Mm-hmm.
but it was amazing. The kills were awesome. Um, I mean, I don't know if it replaces Santa's Sleigh as my go-to Goofy Santa movie, but
Nah, I wouldn't say so.
Bill Goldberg walking into a strip club going hose,
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 hose.
hose.
And
Oh,
then been like, what are you doing here? And he's like, I'm here to stuff some stockings. Like, that is the garbage tier writing that I live for. That is what I want in my life.
it's just as like it's definitely both of them on their own are hysterical products.
Yeah.
Um,
No, I was very, very pleased with it. It's on Peacock in America, I believe.
fuck. Everything's good going to Peacock right now. Like you mentioning the whole Santa going to a strip club, and like the best I could probably throw in there is like David Harbour like on the roof with the reindeer. He starts walking. He's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, who did this, Prancer? So unprofessional." Just like shit on his
And,
boot.
and then he calls it back later, being like, they were on the roof until your asshole like shot through the ceiling, but if you want to go up, one of them left a fucking log for you. Like,
Fuck.
I think he said the Christmas log, which yeah, brilliant.
Oh, fuck. Amazing, amazing fucking movie. My God. So, Captain,
Mm.
what is your topic for this time around?
So they just released a new little teaser trailer
Mm-hmm.
for the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who,
Damn.
where they revealed there's 3 specials for the 60th.
Oh,
Um, and I'm gonna double check that I've got the titles right here.
okay.
Um,
60 years, though. Holy fuck.
60 years. Which the 50th anniversary was, I mean, obviously 10 years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
But that was a multi-doctor team up where it was one of the 11th Doctor's final stories. And so the 10th Doctor and then a previously unseen regeneration played by John Hurt, the War Doctor,
Okay.
all teamed up to essentially change time and save Gallifrey,
Mm.
which is the Doctor's homeworld.
All right.
Which, according to the lore introduced by Russell Davies, starting in the 2005 revival of the show, the Doctor had been part of a war that became known as the Last Great Time War, a war between the Time Lords and the Daleks that threatened the entirety of existence.
Okay.
And in the final days of the Time War, the Doctor, the John Hurt version of the Doctor, stole a sentient weapon called the Moment. And he used the Moment to destroy the Time Lords and the Daleks. He
So,
wipes them
go
both
ahead.
out.
So this moment weapon, is this essentially like a wish or
It's capable of doing pretty much whatever you want it to.
okay.
And was considered such a dangerous piece of tech that the Time Lords kept it in one of the deepest vaults,
Wow.
which has never stopped the Doctor before, and it wasn't going to stop the Doctor then. So yeah, the Doctor used the moment, and all of the Time Lords and all of the Daleks were wiped out,
Mm,
leaving only him.
damn.
It's also caused him to regenerate and become the Ninth Doctor. So then in the sixth or in the 50th, we get three doctors teaming up and figuring out how to stop that from happening.
Mm,
Like the most current doctor, the 11th, being like, I've changed my mind. Like, we can fix this. We don't have to kill the Time Lords. And so time travel shenanigans ensue and they fix it. It's great.
damn.
Um, but I mean, since then, we've had the 12th and the 13th doctors.
Mm,
So Peter Capaldi and, oh, why am I blanking on her name? Jodie Whittaker.
okay.
Um, and then Jodie Whittaker's run also introduced like the Fugitive Doctor, where we don't really know where she fits in the timelines. Another regeneration that we don't really have a space to put her in yet, and we may never. Who knows? But at the end of Jodie Whittaker's run, she regenerates as doctors do at the end of their runs,
Okay.
and she regenerates into David Tennant, the
Oh.
10th Doctor. But he's in a new outfit. He's obviously modern David Tennant age. And official materials have called him the 14th Doctor. So it is a new regeneration with the same face.
Hmm. Okay.
Which the 50th also did tell us would be happening. Because the 11th Doctor meets a character named, he's the curator of the museum that, of like the British Museum, whatever. And he's played by Tom Baker, who was the fourth Doctor.
Oh,
And
okay.
it is heavily implied that this is a future version of the Doctor.
Mm.
And when 11 meets him, he's like, I never forget a face. And Tom Baker's character replies, and, in the future, you may find yourself revisiting a few, but just the old favorites, eh? So
Oh,
implying that the Doctor could regenerate back into a face that he had had previously.
damn.
So now we've got David Tennant back as the Doctor, the 14th Doctor, and he is in these trailers they've been putting out. We know that Donna Noble, who was one of the 10th Doctor's companions, is coming back,
Hmm.
as is her family. We also know Neil Patrick Harris is in one of the specials.
That I think I did hear about Neil Patrick Harris being in a Doctor Who thing.
So we've seen footage of his character.
Mm.
We also know drag queen Jinx Monsoon is going to be in it, playing some sort of villainous role.
Oh.
We also know there's an old Doctor Who comic from I think the 70s
Mm.
called The Star Beast that features a little Muppety kind of character called Beep the Meep. And Beep the Meep is in this. They actually are doing a live action version of him, which is just amazing.
I just think of like Muppets anytime I hear Meep.
Yeah, I mean that's the and Beep he's like they did an actual like puppet doll for him, which is lovely.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I think it'll probably be a mixture of puppet and CGI.
Mm.
Um, but they definitely seem to have given the show a big budget this go round, which is great.
Nice.
Um, but yeah, there's three specials. The Star Beast is the first episode,
Okay.
which again was the name of the comic where Beep the Meep was introduced.
Mm.
Second one is going to be called Wild Blue Yonder. We don't know too much about what's going to happen there, but Blue Yonder, TARDIS is blue. I feel like that's.
Yeah.
And then the final special is going to be called The Giggle. That I think is going to be the darkest episode of this trilogy that they're doing.
Like
Um, Typically
Sinister?
speaking, when something is smiling or laughing in Doctor Who, bad things happen.
Oh, so
So them calling this episode the Giggle makes me very nervous about the fate of our companions.
I just hear giggle and I think like Joker, like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Holy
and the
shit.
rumor is that NPH is playing a classic Who character called the Celestial Toymaker, who is an omnipotent Q-like god being, with the power to kind of rewrite reality however he sees fit.
Ooh, makes me think of I cannot remember the villain's name, but season one of Doom Patrol.
Oh, Mr. Nobody,
Yes, I think very much of that character, the way you're
Alan
describing
Tudyk.
this one. Yes, I loved his
Yeah,
character in that.
yeah, Mr. Nobody's great.
Hmm. But yeah,
What was it? Was it like the end of the first or beginning of the second episode of Doom Patrol?
that we see him.
When well, no, I mean because he shows up in the first episode, and that's when like the ground opens up and you see the goat.
Oh yes,
Um,
yes,
and then the start of the second episode is when Niles is talking to him, and he's like, "Mr. Nobody's still monologuing," and
yes,
he's like, "Who are you talking to?" And he's like, "Reddit trolls, Grant Morrison fans," like
yes.
just super fourth wall meta. Oh, and anyone who could get past the goat fart. Which then Alan Tudyk also played the Joker on Harley Quinn. So
Wait, really?
yeah, Alan Tudyk's the Joker on Harley Quinn and Clayface.
Holy shit! I never even thought of that.
Yeah, that man went to Juilliard.
That
Now,
well, he's like a whole array of talent.
oh my god, he's one of the most talented people
Like
in Hollywood.
first, yeah, probably first thing I ever seen him in was I, Robot when he voiced Sonny.
Yep.
But amazing, yeah, fucking incredible.
I mean, for me, it was Firefly. Or no, I'm lying. It was A Knight's Tale with Heath Ledger,
Oh shit! I forgot about him
which
in
also
there.
had Paul Bettany and guy who played Robert Baratheon.
Oh fuck, man. Uh, I'm excited for all the Doctor Who fans. This sounds like it's
Yeah,
going to be a
I mean,
damn
60th is going to be
shindig.
huge, and then I mean, they're filming the 15th Doctor's stuff now, which I don't know how to pronounce his name yet. Nkudi Edejanye, something like that, is the guy who's playing the 15th Doctor.
Would I know this one from anything?
I, 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 I had not seen him. He's going to be in the new Barbie movie. I do know that.
Oh, I saw the trailer for that. That looks
That
bonkers.
looks bonkers, and
Yeah.
I'm here for it. But yeah, he's gonna be in that. But it looks like he's got a different costume for each episode that's historically accurate to the time period he's visiting.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
dude has drip. Like, holy shit. He is the most well dressed doctor I've seen so far.
Let me
And
see.
Capaldi had some bangers of outfits, man.
Doctor Who
It's
15th.
like NQ or NCUTI, but I don't know if it's like Cootie, Cuddy. I don't know if the N is silent. I don't know. I'll have to hear a pronunciation of it. Because I always thought that it was Capaldi, but it's
I
Capaldi.
I can't even pronounce that. No way.
Yeah. No.
But no, I can't think I've seen this actor before.
But he looks so good in the set photos.
Mm. You know what? And
His,
some go ahead.
I think his companion's name is Ruby Sunday.
I like that.
Yeah, and I think they're trying to go back to kind of that Ninth Doctor Rose dynamic from 2005,
Okay.
to kickstart his era. So yeah, I'm very very hopeful for the future of Doctor Who.
It's pretty cool when casting comes around and even for the main lead, they don't ever go for like a well-known actor, and it can sometimes be just as good, if not better.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, yes. Like, I mean, John Hurt was obviously stunt casting just for the 50th, right?
Hmm.
And John Hurt's a very what was a very well-known actor.
Yeah.
Peter Capaldi, like I said, he'd been on the show before, but I mean, dude had already won an Oscar.
Mm,
for a short film. Like he'd had an entire career before Doctor Who.
right.
And he was a lifelong fan. Like they even would embarrass him when he go on like Graham Norton, stuff like that, and read off letters that he wrote to Doctor Who magazine when he was a kid,
Oh, damn.
and then he got to be the Doctor. And
Shit.
honestly, as of right now, my personal favorite Doctor.
I think I know that actor you're talking about. I think we spoke about him in an episode of where episodes that made you tear up pretty bad.
He'll do it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah. He's got several that'll do that. Matt Smith's Doctor has quite a few episodes that'll make you cry.
mm-hmm.
Vincent and the Doctor is for sure one
Damn.
where they meet Vincent Van Gogh and try to help him,
Wow.
and it still ends the way that it ends, where Vincent takes his own life. Um, and so yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful episode. Um, 12's also got episodes where he gives speeches that there's a two-parter. It's
Mm-hmm.
called the Zygon Invasion and the Zygon Inversion.
Mm,
And so the Zygons are shapeshifters,
mm-hmm.
and they were also a part of the 50th. And we had essentially like Unit, which is a military organization that handles aliens. Unit had made a deal with the Zygons that they could stay on Earth
Okay.
and live amongst us. They just had to be shapeshifted so not to upset the general public, who doesn't want to see aliens on their daily lives. And then a small subsect of Zygons decide, no, this planet belongs to us now, and we're taking it. So then the Doctor has to. There's two boxes that if you press one, all the Zygons are killed. If you press one, all the humans are killed. If I remember right, it's been a minute.
Holy
Um,
shit.
and so you've got a human on one side and a Zygon on the other, and they're both ready to press the button. And the Doctor gives such an impassioned speech about war and how pointless it is. Because he's like, it doesn't matter how right you feel when you take that first shot. You never know who's going to die, like whose children, whose family, until everyone's going to do what they were always going to have to do from the very start: sit down and talk.
Yep.
And it's just this beautiful. I mean, he's so, and one of them still doesn't want to back down. He's like, oh, and we're off to the races, fingers on buzzers, like everyone's ready to go. And a character remarks like, this isn't a game. And he's like, no, it isn't. Like, it's not a game. And it's just, oh, he's so goddamn good. And he's terrifying when he wants to be. And then he's also quite silly when he wants to be, which I think is the perfect balance of a Doctor.
Even hearing that, like, fuck. I don't dabble in too much politics, really. But, like, fuck, if that ain't the goddamn truth
Yep.
for war.
And that's
Like,
why it hits so hard. Is like
mm-hmm.
this: any conflict in the world, any war ever, only ends when both sides actually sit down and fucking talk.
Yeah.
That's how it ends. So
Mm-hmm.
do that at the start.
Yeah, don't fucking just go, oh, well, I got a bigger army than you, and then just
Do
go
that
fucking,
without the bloodshed.
yes.
Do that without the casualties.
Because, like, you get to
Just
sit home
talk.
with your feet up and just point fingers while
Yep.
everyone leaves their families and they're not going to be coming home. Like,
Mm-hmm.
shit, like, even with my great uncle, like, he fought in World War II, for God's sakes. He was in Poland. And from what I remember, like, because I was, like, he was alive, like, for the last bit of his life when I was in high school. And he still had PTSD for like the whole
Yeah.
nines. He said he has no fucking pride or nothing what happened
Yep.
in there. So, fuck. It's just, yeah. No, I agree that sit the fuck down and talk. Don't just
Yep.
shovel off people with no choice to
I
go,
mean, there's another moment with 12 where one of his companions is about to die,
Hmm,
and there's nothing he can do about it,
right.
which for the Doctor is rare. Like there's usually something he can do to fix things,
Mm-hmm.
and he can't. And
Oh,
so he turns to the person that he thinks is responsible for this or could fix it. And he's just like, "You will fix this right now, or I will rain hell on you from now until the end of time." And they're like, I can't do it. And he's just like, I will get, and he starts naming off alien races. And he's just like, and give me a minute and I'll get the fucking Daleks. Like, I will bring everyone here and destroy you and everything else. And they're like, but you won't do that. You're the doctor.
I was like, I don't give
And
a fuck.
well, and it says something along the lines of, you've read all the books, you've read all the stories. Has there ever been anyone who stopped me? And they're like, no, but like, you're the doctor. You won't do this. And he's like, the doctor is not here. You are stuck with me. And it's like, oh, fuck. Like, he's gonna wreck your shit.
That line sounds so much like Rorschach in prison. You guys don't
Hmm.
understand. I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me. And it's just like, fuck,
Badass.
I love that moment. But yeah, like, shit. It's not a bit like for in Canada here, like, it's getting. I think I told you, like, over the holidays that Doctor Who's going to be on Disney Plus soon.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
That's part of the new deal that BBC worked out.
And when it does, then absolutely I'm going to give it a chance. My wife
Yeah.
and I both said we're going to give it a go because from what you told me, I'm like, I actually think I could get into some of this.
Like any show, there's good and bad.
Yeah,
Um, but for every bad episode, there's 20 great ones. Um,
absolutely.
I mean, the episode after the one I was just talking about, where the companion dies, the doctor gets locked into a time loop, essentially.
Oh,
He's stuck in a thing that they call a confession dial. That's a Time Lord piece of technology. And the doctor lives like 4 billion years
in that loop.
stuck in this loop. And it is, in my opinion, the greatest episode of the show, if not one of the finest episodes of television.
I think there was one clip I seen, and I think it was yeah, because David Tennant's the current 14th Doctor right now, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, so the one before him, the
13.
yeah,
Yeah.
the
Jodie
third,
Whittaker.
yeah, I saw clips of the one of the episode of her leading to her
Hmm.
regeneration, and I found it kind of cool that it was all the first, like the very old doctors that showed
Yeah.
up. Like one of them, like I think you told me about this, that um the janitor or the groundskeeper from Harry Potter, that was the very first or second doctor.
Yes. He is playing the first Doctor, which
Mm,
William Hartnell was the first Doctor, but he passed away decades and decades ago.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's been playing the first Doctor since 10 years ago. They cast him in a biopic about the making of like the original Doctor Who, where he played William Hartnell and the first Doctor.
Right.
And then they brought him into the show for Twice Upon a Time, which was the 12th Doctor's um, regeneration. So when Peter Capaldi was time to regenerate, he lands in Antarctica at the same time and place that the first Doctor is about to regenerate for the first time.
That's cool.
So then you get 12 and 1 in an adventure together. Um, then David Bradley, who played Filch in Harry Potter, yeah, he plays the first Doctor. So yeah, getting to see him back for 13's finale was really nice because they also brought back Peter Davison, who played the fifth Doctor, Colin Baker, who played the sixth Doctor, Sylvester McCoy, who played the seventh, and Paul McGann, who played the eighth.
Yeah, like they weren't matching. Like there was the one doctor who didn't match the robes,
That
and
was Paul McGann, and he was like, "I don't wear the robes."
yeah, and just like, oh, always got to be perfectionist or something like that. And
Yeah.
it's just like these fucking personalities clashing is hysterical. I love it.
Oh, anytime that you get multiple doctors together, they disagree about everything, and it's so fucking funny. Like in the 50th, there's a moment where 11 brings the War Doctor and the 10th Doctor onto his TARDIS. And does the, switches, like stabilizes it so it's actually like his TARDIS appearance. And Ten's like, "Oh, you've done up the TARDIS. I don't like it." And that's a bit that goes back to the very first multi-doctor special back in the 60s.
Okay.
And 11 is just like, "Oh, you never do." Like, or 10, 11 says wibbly wobbly timey wimey at one point, or just timey wimey. And the war doctor is just like, timey wimey? Like, what? Are you children? And 10, who originated that term, turns to Ward. He's like, I don't know where he gets that.
Oh
And
God.
it's like you're throwing yourself under the bus to impress yourself. Because it's all you. It's all you. You're one person.
Oh fuck. Yeah, no, I'm definitely excited to check this out now. Like it's got a lot of like it sounds like a lot of heart, a lot of horror, a
Yes.
lot of comedy.
Yes. Yeah.
Um I think it's
Some
something I can get into.
sometimes too much comedy, especially like if you start with series one of the 2005 reboot, which is Christopher Eccleston and Billy Piper as the
Okay.
leads, as the Doctor or the Ninth Doctor and Rose. Um, there is some campy, not so great shit in that first season. There's
Mm.
also fucking incredible episodes. Um, so for every farting alien you also get a deep dive into the Doctor's PTSD from murdering his entire species. Um, so
Shit.
there's just a bit of both.
It- fuck.
Because
Again,
that Doctor, the Ninth Doctor, he was straight out of the Time War.
real.
Like
Oh yes.
he pressed the button, he killed the Daleks, he killed the Time Lords, he regenerated, and very shortly thereafter, we find him in the very first episode. Like he looks in the mirror in the first episode, and it's one of the first times he's really seen himself. He's like, "Oh, ears could have been worse. Ears could be a little bit less conspicuous, like because he's got big ears."
Okay. Yeah.
Um, so yeah, he's fresh out of the Time War. So all of that is very raw with him. That he's the last one of his species by his own hand. Like it's, and then 10 goes deeper into that. 10 is like the lonely warrior kind of trope where it's like, I'm the last of the Time Lords. Like he's, and he kind of wields that as a weapon. Where then 11 is like braggadocious about it. Like he comes across a being that has killed a lot of Time Lords in the past,
Right.
and being voiced by Michael Sheen from Good Omens, by the way. But the being is like, "Fear me, I've killed hundreds of Time Lords." And the Doctor just responds, kind of straightens his bow tie, and it's like, "Fear me, I killed all of them." It's like, oh,
Shit.
uh-oh.
I'm trying to remember. Michael Sheen, is that
He
opposite of
plays,
David Tennant on
yes, he
Good
plays a
Omens?
Aziraphale. Yeah.
Okay.
He was also in the Underworld movies as Lucian, the Lycan.
Oh shit, he was too. Damn, I gotta rewatch those. Underworld is amazing.
It's
Um,
very much a product of its time, but yes.
oh, absolutely. It's kind of up there. Well, I don't want it to put it really side by side, but it's kind of up there with like Van Helsing with Hugh
I think under
Jackman.
I think Underworld's better than Van Helsing,
Oh,
but
I agree easily. Um,
Van
yeah,
Helsing relied too much on CGI, where at least the first
yeah,
Underworld film really tried to do practical as much as they could.
yeah. It's true. Yeah, and like at that time, like even looking back on it now, I actually rather practical over CGI because it
Of
wasn't.
course, every
Yeah,
time.
easily. You mentioning like moments in Doctor Who. I almost said Star Trek for some reason. It's the visor.
There was a comic book crossover, so
Oh shit.
where the 11th Doctor crossed over with the Next Generation crew,
Oh, that must have been big.
with the Cybermen and the Borg combining forces.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was a good little run.
Shit. Did you ever read those?
Oh yeah, yeah, I've got them all. I've
Dude,
got the whole run.
good score. Um, but talking about the emotions of that, was it my wife and I we went and saw Guardians of the Galaxy 3
Oh, I've not seen it yet, but
Okay.
I've heard nothing but good things.
It's an incredible film. It's bold to say it now, but it is easily going to be movie of the year. I'm all I could say, James Gunn, you fucking destroyed me and my wife.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I'll leave it at. But
I'm really looking forward to his Superman movie.
he's gonna do good with DC.
Yeah.
Easily. He's gonna do good. If he could take the flop that was Suicide Squad and make that, I'm
Yeah.
excited for what he can do next.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm looking forward to a Superman movie. I hope that it doesn't mean the end of Superman and Lois on the CW,
hmm,
because that show is remarkably good.
okay.
Um, I've very much enjoyed this season. Spoilers: Lois has cancer, and there's nothing Superman can do, and so it's one of the only
Oh,
times in Superman's life that he feels powerless.
oh,
Um,
that's gonna be a heartbreaking
and a great
episode.
dynamic between the kids, um, because he's got two twin boys, Jordan and Jonathan.
Hmm.
Jordan has powers, Jonathan doesn't.
Oh,
Um, but Jonathan, the one without powers, acts more like Superman than the one with powers, who's kind of letting it get to his head. Where, like, I have heat vision. And it's like, you do, but you're kind of a dick about it. Where Jonathan, without powers, is becoming a firefighter because he still wants to help people.
eh.
Like, it's a fantastic show. It's too good to be on the CW, honestly.
Um, it might have been a different run, but there's this clip I was seeing that Lex Luthor was running around to different Earths like to kill Superman.
That was part of the Crisis on Infinite Earths event that they did, where it was John Cryer's Lex Luthor.
Yeah,
Um, and yeah, he went to the Smallville Earth, and encountered Tom Welling, who had given up his powers.
I love that clip.
Yeah,
It's so wholesome, but like as he's like, but like you were a god. I'm like, and you gave up these abilities, and all I had to do was step on his kid's toy and just clocks his ass, and just
yep.
like, yep, no worries,
I
just walks it
mean,
off.
even without superpowers, Clark Kent is Nebraska bred American fucking beef, baby. Like,
Hmm.
he doesn't need superpowers to fucking deck you. That boy grew up working on a farm. He is stacked.
All you need to hear is farmhand and back
Yep.
off. That's it. Um, yeah, holy shit. I could even speak that for here in the prairies as well. Like my
Yeah.
stepdad and all of his family grew up on the farm, and Jesus, the strength on them. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'm good. City boy will back off.
Well, it's always that, you know, being a fan of pro wrestling, you see the guys that are just, they're chiseled. They've got what we call like the vanity muscles, right? That
Hmm.
make you look really, really strong. But it's always the guys who have like that barrel kind of chest build with no definition
Hmm.
that are the strongest motherfuckers out there. Like Mark Henry legitimately was the strongest man in the world
Yes.
probably for centuries. Like, dude broke weightlifting records that had stood for 1,000 years.
That guy was
Like,
a beast. It probably
and I
still
mean,
is.
oh yeah, he's still massive. He's definitely. I mean, I saw him back in March. So he's lost some weight, but he's still built like a fucking brick shit house. Like, dude is huge. But I mean, I have seen video of this guy grab a frying pan and just bend it in half.
Yes.
That's obscene. Like there was one particular, I don't remember what it was called, but it was a weightlifting challenge where it's like this weird ball, right? And it's like the way that it's weighted is super awkward. And the goal was to like lift it to your waist. And no one had been able to do that in like a millennia.
Hmm.
And he lifted it to his waist and then put it over his head and then dropped it, and everyone freaked out and was like, oh my god, like no one's ever done that before. And he did it again.
Like right after that.
Just right after, like, oh well, yeah, okay, I'll do it again. And like that's a record that will stand for centuries. There'll be a
Shit.
damn robot that breaks it.
It like I know like his biggest his idol was always Andre the Giant.
Well, I mean, yeah.
And like it shows. fuck does it show? Like, but
Oh,
yeah,
Andre.
I know what you're talking about when it like that whole weightlifting challenge. I don't know what it's called, but I've seen that where they got to grab it awkwardly and like lift it in
Yeah,
like the horrible, most
yeah.
worst way. And yeah, but over your head, Jesus. I gotta see if I
I
can
mean,
find that video later, because
I've
damn.
also seen the guy like at the twilight of his career just grab an apple and squeeze it, and it just bursts. Like the strength.
It's like, oh my God. It's like if you were on tour and you needed anybody as a bodyguard, and it's like, okay, you got Mark Henry. Who else? Just him.
Just him. That's fine.
That's all I need. Just give me Mark Henry. Make sure he's well fed and
Huge.
taken care of, and you'll be good.
And then you get, well, going back to like the fireman thing, you get guys like Brock Lesnar who
Oh
have a
yes.
little bit of definition, but I mean, Brock Lesnar is also a freak of nature.
Oh shit, yeah, he is.
Like there's not people aren't supposed to be built like that,
Oh
and because he's still got noticeable pecs, but he doesn't have abs or anything anymore.
no.
But he'll still just toss a motherfucker like they weigh nothing. And dude's in his, I mean, he was in his 20s when he debuted in 2002.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got to be in his 40s.
That sounds about right.
And he's still just tossing people like they're lawn darts. Like,
I gotta say, like, if I could think of like brick shit houses, like I'm gonna say the Great Khali.
Khali, before he got to WWE, yes.
Yeah.
At the time he made his WWE, his knees were shot.
Mm.
He was just a big lumbering mess at that point. But dude's still a superstar in India. Like,
I think the first time I ever saw him, and it wasn't even in the ring, it was in the longest yard with Adam Sandler.
oh yeah, yeah.
But like to see him just like banging his head on the wall, like not literally, but like just to see the
No,
stature of a
that's a
dude.
Goldberg thing.
But just to see the stature of a man, like, holy shit, what were you eating? You
hmm
know, it was just like, did you eat a whole bison to yourself? Damn. But just,
Yeah, because
yeah.
Kali was a legit. I want to double check. I want to say legit 7'1",
Holy shit.
where Andre at his tallest was 7'4".
Damn. Now I feel fucking puny. I'm only 6'1".
There's a current wrestler, Omos,
Mm.
in WWE who's 7'3", and he
American,
is
well, I
huge.
can't say for Kali, but Americans are just built taller. Holy shit.
And I think Omos is he's from, where is he from? He's not American. He is from Nigeria,
Oh, wow.
and he is 7'3".
How much in weight behind that
Um,
height?
see what they say for him. Build weight's 403 pounds.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Oh
that's a
my
big
god.
boy.
That is, yeah, big boy indeed. Like,
Well, he had a match with Brock recently, which, as Big E would say, that is just big meaty men slapping meat. That is a hoss fight.
oh, Gnome, you're missing out on that so bad.
Yeah.
There was one match. I maybe you might be able to help me out with this here, but
Yeah.
there I remember like sometime in high school I saw this match, and it was more like a highlight reel. But I remember it had like it was big. It was like three or four big dudes,
hmm
and somebody body slammed someone, and the weight of it was so much that the fucking stage collapsed under the weight.
I don't know about it. I don't know if I remember a stage collapse, but there's been multiple ring collapses.
Yeah, ring collapse, and I
There was one, would have been SmackDown era. Brock Lesnar suplexed the Big Show off the top rope, and when he hit the ring collapsed.
holy shit.
And they've done that spot a few times,
Yeah.
and it's always awesome. when they do it. You can even do that in the video games. You can set up like an oh my god. Well, it used to be called an oh my god moment.
Yeah.
Where you could do that, where it would collapse the ring. Because it's such an iconic spot.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that may have been it. Because I remember
There's
the
also
Big Show was
there's also
involved.
been times where you can slam someone big so hard they actually break through the mat and like go under the ring. They've done that spot a few times.
Shit. I think the only time I could think of like a wrestler in the ring, and I think it was just a promo for Undertaker, but like he ripped through the ring underneath
Oh yeah,
and like grabbed a wrestler or something, like dragged
yeah.
him in or something
Drag
like
them
that.
down. Yeah.
Yeah, like those moments were
Kane
fucking sweet.
Kane used to do that pretty frequently too,
Okay,
where
yeah.
he would drag them to hell.
Oh, I love
Uh,
those moments.
though I mean they had a on AEW recently, Jungle Boy Jack Perry, son of the late Luke Perry from 90210 fame,
Right.
had a match against Christian, who's a Hall of Fame level talent.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what they actually called it, but it was a buried alive match. They just couldn't call it that because WWE has that trademarked.
That was gonna be my next
And
question. I was wondering if they were still doing those matches.
yeah. So AEW did one, and Jack puts Christian in the coffin and then slams the lid. And when he slams the lid, that coffin just fucking drops through the stage. I mean, like a fucking rocket, like sent them
That's cool.
straight to hell. Great bit. Of course, Christian's back now because wrestling,
Yeah.
but also a fantastic heel in the business. So I'm for it.
I think it was the match like that was had to been Undertaker versus Kane maybe for Buried Alive, was it?
Yeah.
That they actually had like a bulldozer and an actual tombstone.
Yeah.
Like I can't remember
And then
what year, but
if I remember right, I don't know if it was because Undertaker was in almost every Buried Alive match.
that seemed to be his staple match almost.
Yeah, but there was one where like Taker got buried, and then it like showed the tombstone, and it was like the Undertaker, whatever to whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and then lightning strikes the tombstone,
Yes.
and the tombstone cracks, and you see Taker's glove come out of the ground, like classic.
So fucking badass.
And then people are like, wrestling's fake, and it's like fucking obviously.
Well,
Like,
yeah. I think
does this guy really have supernatural powers? No.
No. I think you said it best. I think it was a soap opera with body slams.
Yep.
That's really all it is. Like,
It's a traveling. It's Cirque du Soleil.
Mhm.
That's what it is. It's a traveling stage show, but with soap opera storylines.
You know, like you get some. I think it was Kevin Smith who said it, but wrestling is the closest we're ever gonna see real superheroes.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, and I believe that because, like, especially in the '80s, like you had like these very outstanding characters with costumes. Like you had Macho Man Randy Savage, Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Exactly. You know, you had Bret the Hitman Hart. The fucking list goes on, and like like
Best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be.
you know, even my hometown hero, fucking Roddy Piper, for God's sakes. Like, anytime I heard those fucking bagpipes playing, or you see him running out like a fucking maniac, going, it's like full charge of the stage. I'm like, come on, man.
It's funny that you would use the word maniac when that was the character you played on It's Always Sunny.
It just clicked in my head. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, now I know why they probably chose that name for him. But
yep, you saw the Family Maniac? Not anymore. Okay.
You seen those?
The maniac loves you, boys.
Oh,
Does he have a bucket of walnuts in his trunk? What does he have that for? I miss Rowdy Roddy.
Oh, I miss him so fucking much. Like, again, like I remember when his passing, like local pub we went to, all the screens were off on local shit. It was just his wrestling matches that were playing.
Yep.
And there was actually like some people with like the Scottish flag on their face and like bagpipe. If I would have fucking knew, I would have painted my face for Roddy. But yeah, oh fuck, amazing fucking performers. But yeah, it's just the closest you ever get to like comic book superheroes to life.
Yeah.
You know.
And absolutely.
You know, like you get like these big dramatic performances, but at the same time, you got like, and they're still athletes in my eye, like that are like doing these outrageous fucking jumps, stunts. Like I believe it wasn't scripted, but you even go back to like when it was like Mankind versus Undertaker, and Mankind fucking went off the top of like got was it he fell through, right?
Well, both. That was King of the Ring 1998.
Mm-hmm.
Mankind versus The Undertaker, Hell in a Cell.
Mm-hmm.
It was the second Hell in a Cell match ever.
Okay.
Um, Mankind got thrown off the top by Undertaker. That was scripted.
Okay.
Um, crashed through the announce table
Oh,
and got a concussion.
yeah.
So he does not remember the rest of the match, but he climbed back up to the top again, where Taker was still there.
Right.
And because the cage was not designed for people to be on top, when Taker delivered the choke slam to Mankind, the cage broke,
And
and
he went right
Foley
through.
Foley fell through the cell at least 17 feet.
Jeez.
A chair that was on the top of the cell fell with him and hit
Mhm.
him in the face when he landed. He ended up aspirating a tooth up into his nose and split his bottom lip so deeply he could stick his tongue through it. And then he
Jeez.
still finished the match, including thumbtacks and all.
Fucking trooper.
Built, built different.
No kidding, dude. And then you see him now walking around like very fragile. Like I'm like,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
I'll do
no,
it to you.
Foley. Yeah, he's not doing great.
No, but like especially when you think like his level of performance, like Jesus, like you can see why he's in literal
Yeah,
banged up shape, but like he still goes
I mean,
down as
even
like best
guys like
performer.
Kevin Nash, part of the founding member of the NWO,
Mm,
like he always wrestled a very safe style. He didn't take bumps when he didn't have to take bumps.
mm,
Um, and he is like he's had to have both of his knees replaced. He's had his hips replaced. Now his neck is causing nerve damage
mm.
because of the bend in it. And this is a guy who wrestled safe. Um,
Wow.
wrestling fucks you up, man.
No, that I totally believe.
Like I know Randy Orton has been told by his doctors to never do a match again.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which I'd hate to see because Randy's always been one of the greats, but his long term health is way more important than me getting closure on his career.
Oh, absolutely. But like, like for Randy Orton, like shit, he's left a legacy of his own.
Yeah,
So like he still
including the group he led called Legacy.
Oh fuck, really? I didn't even know that one.
Yeah, with Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase Jr.
Oh shit. Man, that was a persona that was like probably like the best fuck you was Ted DiBiase.
Yeah,
Everybody's
he's
got a price. Like
I think he's going to prison for tax fraud.
I'm sorry, the $1 million man. It's just going away for tax fraud. I feel bad for him, but
Well, maybe
shit.
he shouldn't have committed tax fraud.
Right, but it's just I don't know, it's kind of up there with like MC Hammer.
Yeah,
Yeah, just like you guys wealthy as fuck and then you got fucking the you got the fucking tax crew showing up like you didn't pay this. Oh fuck.
yeah.
You know? But damn. What a good seg. I like this.
Always happy to talk pro wrestling.
Oh yeah. Like I think we'll definitely do like one episode. Maybe the next one since Gnome's
I could
away for a bit. We could do the Attitude Era like our
well,
dear
and
friend.
we can talk about the episode of Voyager where Seven of Nine has to wrestle The Rock in his first acting role.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, I gotta see if I can find this so I can see this myself. What the hell?
Yeah, yeah. I don't remember what season it was, but yeah, they put some forehead bumpies on The Rock, and Seven of Nine has to fight The Rock.
Fucking God. Um, yeah, no, this was a fun fucking seg. I like, I'm down for wrestling. I'm not with the pulse of wrestling these days. Definitely stopped with like the Attitude Era and like early 2000s for me.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe just that time and place. I just enjoyed it that much. But I will say though, like wrestling does fuck you up. Absolutely agree with you.
Yes.
But I do find it cool that like I will watch highlights of WrestleMania lately when they start bringing back like the older wrestlers, like for
Yeah.
like the Royal Rumble and safety, yes, for Kevin Nash. But like to see Big Daddy Diesel show up like midway, I was like, okay, he's playing it cool, and like all the wrestlers like, oh shit, I'm like, oh, Big Daddy's gonna fuck you up.
Yep.
I just love those moments, man. I'm
Yeah.
waiting until Diamond Dallas Page shows up.
DDP did some stuff with AEW early in their run.
Okay,
Um, but I think he's pretty satisfied just doing the DDP yoga stuff these days.
that's understandable, but fucking badass nonetheless. Fucking legends all around in WWE. Fucking
Diamond
Diamond
cutter.
Cutter, boom.
Bang! Yeah.
Oh man. Well, with that bang, everyone, as another episode of BBGN podcast in the books. Once again, Gnome is not with us at the moment. He's mental stuff going on. He will be back in near future.
Yep.
But until then, I am the Big Gear Gamer. Alongside with me,
Captain Who, live long and prosper, everyone.
and as always, Excelsior. Take her easy, gang.